It means we want to be a happy human. In Sanskrit, Sukhinara is given as one who can control his or her urges. Then you can be happy. It is not translated as one who fulfills all their desires. Hadai Prana. I'm originally from Columbus, Ohio. I look like it, right? And I was in college, and I kind of grown up with this practice throughout most of my adult life. And when I was in college, I studied economics. Any economics majors here? Yeah, economics. Wow. We all end up at the same place. So I studied economics, and I tried my best, and I was trying my best at trying to go through the material world, but something just didn't seem right. Something, the pants didn't fit, the shoe didn't fit, the glove didn't fit, but I found myself looking a little deeper and seeing what the goal of life was, and that led me to India and to travel around there, traveled to England, and I studied there, and then out of all places in the world, I ended up being a monk in New York City. So it's such a wild experience, it's such a beautiful experience, and it's a beautiful life actually. And we're going to be discussing one of the aspects that I think is a superpower. Anybody wanted to have a superpower when they grew up? What superpower did you want?
All of them.
All of them! So out of the Avengers, what?
I wanted to fly.
You wanted to fly!
Yeah.
Shoot electricity out of my hand.
Shoot electricity out of your hands. Wow. So I think one of my could be my favorite superpower, if you would say, is finding what I say simple for the simple. A lot of people think to venture on the spiritual path is to experience something supernatural, experience something out of worldly, and maybe an electric bolt will come and hit me like in a kirtan or something. But for us who practice, at least us who practice this process called Bhakti Yoga every day, and it's not just me who practice Bhakti Yoga as a monk. People can live outside, people work and practice Bhakti Yoga. And people who practice Bhakti Yoga, we don't rely on things that are just sporadic. We rely on things that are already within our grasp. People say that I need to be bestowed something from a higher power. But actually, a lot of Bhakti Yoga is to recognize what has already been bestowed upon you, and to recognize those gifts, and to utilize them in how we deal and how we act. So when we lose, and one of the main things that we utilize in Bhakti Yoga is this idea of simplicity. Anybody want to lead a complex life? Yes or yes? I need some contact here.
No.
Complex life? Yes? No?
No.
Lead a simple life?
Yes.
Lead a simple life?
Yes.
Okay, so I should just stop the class today, right? Even to the extent of us, when I go to India, if you know the science, has anybody dyed any clothes before? Dyed clothes, like tie-dye or something like that. So those fade, really easy. So even monks, we wear the same clothes every single day. Even we're like, oh, this is a different color, a different shade. There's 50 shades of saffron, as I say. There's so many different shades. So we lose simplicity when we end up chasing many things. There's an old saying that when you're chasing after two rabbits, you won't catch any of them because they'll all be running on them. So This is a very core teaching in the Bhagavad Gita, and we're going to speak a little Sanskrit today, so don't be worried. I'll guide you to it. This is the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, text 41. Maybe I'll give a little introduction to the Gita. Has everybody heard of the Gita at least? The Bhagavad Gita? Yes, maybe they have one. If you don't have one, we can get you a copy tonight. And the Bhagavad Gita basically is a 5,000-year-old conversation. It's a conversation between Krishna, the Supreme, and Arjuna, the warrior. And Arjuna's in a rock and a hard place. And basically he says that I do not want to fight in this war. They're in the middle of the battlefield and they brought their chariots in the middle. I do not want to fight in this war because on the other side, the enemies are my own family who have committed the worst atrocities in mankind. They have killed children, they have killed women, they have killed elderly, and they've stopped sacrifices and all these things. But I don't want to live in a world where I have to kill my own family to survive. Difficult situation, right? Interesting. The main ancient wisdom literature from India, it didn't happen in a yoga studio. It didn't happen in another peaceful place. It happened in the middle of a battlefield. So this is amazing. And so Krishna, knowing that Arjuna is a warrior and what would happen if he stopped fighting, he actually wanted to go be a monk, Arjuna. Krishna says, no, you have to fight, but you have to fight for the right reasons. And so after understanding what the soul is about, for the first thing Krishna speaks about is you're not the body, you're the soul. Then he starts speaking about a little bit more about how to control the desires. Then he says this beautiful verse, and we're going to try to say it, and you guys can repeat after me. Just a little bit about diacritics. Whenever you see an A with a line over it, like that A over there, you make your mouth into an ah. Say ah. Imagine you're at the dentist's office, yeah. And I'm just seeing if there's anything. And you see the S with the apostrophe over it, it becomes a sha. Sha. Man, you guys are amazing. So let's go. Let's just try it.
What does it mean? What's the meaning?
We're right underneath. So we're going to say the translation too. So Vyavasayatmika buddhi Ekeha kurunandana Bahushaka hyanantascha Buddhayo vyavasayinam. Amazing, you guys are pundits. So someone with a big loud voice would like to read the translation? Yes, Jabari.
Those who are on this path are resolute in purpose, and their aim is one. O beloved child of the Kurus, the intelligence of those who are irresolute is many-branched.
So this is very important from Krishna. This is 5,000 years old language we're speaking, and Krishna is saying to focus. He's saying to focus your energy. Keep a one-pointed attention to the ultimate goal of life. That even if you have a lot of things going on, if you have your rudder faced the right way, you know, a boat, you know, if you've seen a big cruise ship, like if you move the rudder 1 centimeter or 1 degree to east or west, you're going to go to a completely different location 2,000 miles away. So if you have your rudder facing the right way, no matter what happens, you can have that as your golden kind of like mission statement. You know, like every company has a mission statement. So Krishna is saying that Ekeha Kurunandana, be focused. But if you're not focused, Bahushaka Hyanantascha, that means it's many branched. Many branched means your mind will be scatterbrained. How will you, when you have so many things, what if, anxiety, what she said, what he said, what they said, social media, regrets, conflicts, fear, stress, work, all these things are coming into your mind, how can you be peaceful? Right? So, how can we attain simplicity? And when we become scatterbrained, we don't end up accomplishing anything. Have you done that before? Have you just wasted time all day and then you complain that, oh, I didn't have enough time to do something? Is it just me? Yeah. Like we get distracted so much, and then at the end of the day, that's why I do with some of the. We have a lot of young people come here and spend time in the ashram and kind of in New York City, and then so they're like, oh, I don't have time to meditate, I don't have time to read, I don't do this. Okay, I'm like, okay, let me see your screen time. Let me see your Instagram. Let me see your Facebook. Let me see your YouTube. Well, how much are you spending time there? Because we don't want to give that up, and then we say no time. I don't think, maybe you're wrong. Let's just think about your deathbed. And your deathbed, you go up to someone asks you, "Well, do you have any regrets?" And you just say, "Oh man, I didn't scroll enough. I didn't use Instagram enough. I didn't watch enough YouTube." You know, no, nobody's ever gonna say that. So yeah, and nobody. So that's. I could speak on and on about this. I think in every class I make this point because I think it's so important. Is that it's the drug of choice of this day is social media. So I wanted to do a little meditation and we'll discuss a little bit about simplicity. So let's sit up a little straighter, and we're going to hear from the Upanishads. And the Upanishad, one of the themes of the Upanishad is that we all come from a conscious source. We all come from a conscious source, and we should be able to feel that unity. And when we have that consciousness, then it breeds gentleness and generosity. So sit up a little straighter than you were. Then close your eyes. Take the luxury to breathe and the super luxury to notice your breath. Draw in oxygen. Focus your mind on one thing, and that one thing is your breathing. Just feel gratitude for your breath. Stay relaxed. I'm going to read you something from the Upanishads that you can meditate. Just keep breathing. We are all conscious living beings who inhabit a body. All facilities are given to the small conscious units to enable them to realize the complete whole. All forms of incompleteness are experienced due to incomplete knowledge of the complete whole. The human form of life is a complete manifestation of the consciousness of the living being. And it is given so we can realize our connection to the complete whole. Rub your hands and come back into external consciousness. Thank you for doing that meditation. It's important to understand these points. We all come from the same conscious original source. And seeing this unity breeds simplicity and gentleness. All varieties of things, living beings, no matter what form they're in, and are they a thing, are they a being, they're coming from the same source, and therefore they're interrelated. And when I forget my connection with that source, then I feel anxiety. This is one of the teachings of the Bhakti Yoga text. There's a beautiful verse. Bhayam dvitya bhiniveshata syad isha apetasya viparya yosmriti. Bhaya, which in Sanskrit means fear. Where does it come from? When I see dvitya. Dvitya means when I see two. when I see things that are not in relation with my source, when I disconnect them, then I see fear. Absorption in those features of that illusionary thinking that there's something other than from the source is when I see separateness, then I get anxiety. Then, why does this matter? I just wanted to do a little thought experiment. You know, in New York now, we have a big festival coming up in June, and many people are trying to come here, and it's called Rath Yatra, June 13th. Book your dates. We'd love to have you there. It's at Washington Square Park. And many people are trying to come here, and then they're shocked. You know why? Because the hotel prices are super expensive. You know why? The World Cup is coming to New York City. And so I wanted to get into that little mood today. We got into the spiritual stuff. Let's go. So, out of these two teams, I know we have a very multicultural audience here. So, just hear me out. When these two teams play, who would we select? USA. USA. Let's get a chant going. Now, yeah, someone would say like Mexico. Now, if these two teams play, US and China, who would we select? China. Yeah, US and China. Now, if you wanted to see Borneo versus Persita, who would you select? Borneo. I really wanted to find something that was completely irrelevant, because this is the Indonesian second league soccer team. The two from the Indonesian second league. I'm like praying there's no Indonesians here tonight. If there are, it'd be great. But why was it so easy to select the United States or Mexico or China? Because we could relate to them, right? But why could you not select? I like Borneo because it's a mascot's a whale. Maybe that's good. Maybe, I don't know.
I think that's a dolphin.
Maybe it's a dolphin. See, you guys are already relating to Borneo. So, why do we not know who to support? It's because we have no stake in the game. We don't have any relation to anybody in Borneo or Persita or anybody. So this is the point that I'm trying to make, not about Borneo and Persita, is that we feel genuine care for those people as long as we identify commonalities. If we do not see any commonalities with people, we divorce ourselves from the actual reality of who we are, then we see, oh, then there's you and me, and I hate you because you're this, and black, white, gay, straight, fat, skinny, XYZ, to add to the infinitum. Then you put those labels and we can completely separate, then we don't see any commonalities. So this is something that's even coming up in the news, or in what about animals? What about, do they count? Do they require some rights? Okay, you could say dogs, cats, okay. But why are they different from cows and chickens and so on and so forth? I mean, we're even discriminating even between the animals. So why do we arbitrarily leave some people out? You know, a learned person. This picture is illustrating a point in the Bhagavad Gita, is that a learned person sees spirituality in every living being and connects with them in that way. So, even in the Constitution, it says in archaic language, all men are created equal, all humans are created equal. But if you extend that to the Upanishadic teachings, that all beings are coming from the same conscious source. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So, for example, if somebody drives on the road and they cut me off, you know, I always think, like one time I was driving on 315 in Columbus. He's also from Columbus. You guys can bully him later. I'm driving on 315 in Columbus, and I take a way, and this guy I must have done something wrong. If not, he threw his coffee at my car. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like, should I react? You know, should I react? And then I'm just thinking, like, how bad must this guy have, his day must be to like have that vulgar reaction, you know?
And wasted coffee.
And wasted coffee. Yeah, he probably spent $4 on those Dunkin' Donuts coffee and he just threw it at me. And what if, and then I thought also like, what if it was my mom in the car? I mean, my mom wouldn't do that. But what if she cut me off? And what would my reaction be? Would I still have that same hatred? So simplicity, at its very core, is to understand our interdependence with each other and interdependence with our source. And so that's where we understand. Like for example, this is another example. The environment it's very dependent on this. Why? Because if you do not have a connection with nature, if you do not have a connection with your environment, what's the problem in polluting it? What's the problem in putting so many gases in the air, polluting our streams? Why? It's just for me to utilize. I have no relation to this nature. So this is the simplified way of seeing these things. And if we do not see the unified unity of all beings, then we see only external differences. And of course, external differences are beautiful. What if I said everybody here had to like vanilla ice cream? I was like, kind of like, what? That's horrible. Variety is the spice of life. There should be diversity. We're all individuals. But we have individuality, but what is the thing that makes us interdependent? That is also something to be thought about. So this is the premise of simplicity. I just wanted to give that sphere. Many people, when we talk about simplicity, we say, oh, declutter your life, check your closet, you know. But from the spiritual lens, simplicity is resting on that principle, that you need to know your interdependence on each other. Yes, Robbie?
Is simplicity the ultimate reality? Or is that just a perspective?
It's all dependent on your realization.
Okay. So you could see the world as simple or not simple.
Yeah.
But isn't it, truthfully, if it's one source, then it is simple, right? It's one.
Yes. There's one source, but there is complexity also. It's all about the individual.
What do you focus on?
What do you focus on? Exactly. Your attention is where a person can be in a very high career and could live very simply, but there could be a homeless person on the street who lives a very complex life. It's not nuanced to say that if you're poor, you're simple, and you're rich, you're complex. It's a little bit more nuanced than that. So another example. But before that, is there any comments or questions about anything that I've said so far? Okay, we'll continue. So, see, systematically eliminate clutter from all aspects of your life from the inside out. Yoga means to embrace the simplicity of life. So I really want to emphasize inside out because our internal environment dictates our external environment. Based on how you keep yourself internally, that's how it will come externally. So if we are internally clean, if we're internally organized, if we're internally all there, then it will actually naturally show in our external environment. Have you ever seen a messy room?
Yes.
A messy road? It shows the internal consciousness. So yoga means to embrace the simplicity of life. And due to its connection with our source, yoga, what did I say in the beginning? Yoga means to connect. When you're connected with the source, and then actually things become quite simple. I wanted to show you a picture, and I'm not shaming him. This is one of my friends, and he lives in Berkeley, California, and I recently went there, and he went to, Rancho's laughing because he also knows what I'm talking about. So I went to his dorm because my other two friends were staying there, and I went in there, and the other two guys, their beds were clean, and I took this other monk with me, and this person, our most senior monk here, has been a monk since 1978. Who was around in 1978? Yeah. In 1978, he's been a monk since then. And I took him there, and he's like, and I just wanted to show you a picture I took of him there. And it's like clothes everywhere, food everywhere, And then this is our monk there. So what I'm saying is that this is Ramar Prabhu, he's the famous hideout. And your external environment depends on your internal consciousness. I'm not saying making a comment on this, but I'm just saying that if you're like over here, like this, it's like half-eaten plates he just piled out on the side of his bed. And we actually have some people like this, even in my experience, is that, and also you don't know exactly how, have you noticed this, that you know the mirror on your bathroom? Have you noticed until you clean it, you don't know how dirty it is?
Yeah.
Like the toothbrush, the toothpaste, and all the things flying into there. And then when you start cleaning, you're like, wow, this is dirty. And then you're like, wow, I can really see myself super nicely now. So the point is that what we have is more important. I confuse myself. What we have is, what we are is more important than we have. This is a mistypo. So what we are is more important than we have. It's not about the external, like how many things we can collect. You know, I saw a bumper sticker once that said, the one who collects the most toys before they die wins. Yeah. So there's all these sort of things. And then I was going to share one, this is an important point also, is that we are very significant. But not necessarily what we have is what makes us significant. You understand that? That we are significant in ourselves because we're souls, but that doesn't create, the things you have don't create your value. Does that make sense? You're not more valuable because you have a lot of things. You're valuable in by nature. So I just want to share one story. It's a very cute monk. Monk who tried to save his underwear. I'll share some confidential things. If you ever come to any monastery, you'll see monks wear a special type of underwear. It's called a kopin. Say kopin.
Kopin.
And it's basically two simple cloths. You know, one big cloth and one small cloth. And so I wanted to share the story of the monk who tried to save his underwear. May I share this with you?
Yeah.
Please.
It's a little funny. You like to have fun?
Yeah.
Okay. So the monk, one time he was meditating, and monks have two pairs of underwear. One that they wash when they shower and they hang, and then one that they're wearing right now. And then the one they hang, they dry. So the monk hung his underwear on a tree, and he went to go meditate, and in his cave. And so he found that when he came back, his underwear's gone. He's like, oh my gosh, who took my underwear? And so he's looking around, and he found out that a mouse had taken his underwear. Then he goes to some of the village folks, and he said that this mouse has taken my underwear. What should I do? And he said, oh, you should get a cat, and the cat will eat the mouse. Oh, great idea. He gets his cat outside his cave. You can imagine there's a cave, and then there's a tree right outside. And then this cat, he's trying to meditate, and meow, 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 meow. And then he goes up to the villager. He's like, "What's that going on?" It's like, this cat won't shut up. I can't meditate. And he said, "Oh, the cat is hungry. You need to get milk." And then so he's like, "Where do I get milk?" He said, "You need to get a cow." And then the monk is like, "Okay, I'll get a cow." So he gets the cow to feed the cat, and the cat is protecting against the mouse. And then, so he gets the cow, and he finds that to take care of a cow is quite, has anybody seen a cow before, taking care of a cow? It's a lot of work, you know? You can't go on vacation, you can't do anything. And so this cow is sitting there, and he's like, I have no time to meditate. And then he goes to the villagers, and he's like, what should I do? He's like, oh, you just need to get someone to take care of the cow. And he said, you should get a wife. He said, oh, okay, I'll get a wife, no problem. And then so he gets a wife, and then I won't say the wife starts crying, but the wife is saying, "What? You live in a cave, you know? I need a house, you know? We need at least a one-bedroom apartment, you know?" So now he gets a house, And then so now, then after everything, his guru comes back. His guru comes into town. And then he's asking all the villagers, like, where was my disciple who was sitting in a cave and meditating? And then he said, oh, he's living down the mountain now. He's with us. He's in a house. And then so the guru knocks on the door of the disciple and he said, yes, who is it? And he said, oh, this is Guruji. Oh, Guruji? Oh my gosh. Welcome. You see this good big house? Now I can meditate peacefully. And then the guru said, oh, you've created so many things and now I don't have any time to meditate. So this is something that you have to be aware of in simplicity. And there's many different variations of the story also. Creating unnecessary necessities. Have you heard of this? Unnecessary necessities. That we make things that are unnecessary, we make them necessary. Can anybody give an example of an unnecessary necessity? Cigarettes. We have a natural kind of like, you take it once, it's horrible, you take it twice, okay, you get used to it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 pack, and it becomes a necessity. Actually, it becomes like your brain thinks it's a necessity. Yes, good. Anybody else having unnecessary necessities? Yes, Ranchor?
Wireless earbuds.
Wireless earbuds.
Yeah.
Good point. Anybody remember a time before
Yeah.
wireless earbuds? Were we surviving?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were we surviving? I don't know. Could be. Anybody? Any last unnecessary necessities?
Instagram account.
Ooh. That's a little too close to home. Was there a time before Instagram? I don't remember. Really? Wow. Someone has to tell me about that time.
90s, right?
The 90s, the 80s. Hey, I'm from the 90s. I was born in 99. Yeah, go ahead. Underwear! Anybody want to learn how to wear the monk underwear? Just let me know. I'll teach you how to wear it. So, the mind makes things. Oh, yes, Lucy.
Oh, I think coffee.
Coffee!
Yeah.
Coffee.
That's a good one.
Yeah, like the whole society runs on it.
Can I say something controversial? Sugar.
Yeah.
So, the mind makes things an urgency. Like sometimes, has anybody visited a foreign country? And then when they visit a foreign country, you're like, I gotta get gifts for everybody. I gotta get an I Love Bali magnet for my friends. I gotta get chocolate for everybody. I gotta get this, I gotta get that, gifts for everybody. And then the people that you get the gifts for, they're like, yeah, thanks for giving me the magnet that you went to Bali. You went to Bangladesh, you went to India, yeah, you're having the good time. Thanks for reminding me that you can have such a good time. So the mind makes things an urgency, and we just need to somehow learn how to disobey it a little bit. So Sukhinara. Everybody say Sukhinara.
Sukhinara.
It's the same meaning in Sanskrit and Japanese. Anybody speak Japanese? No? So Sukhinara means happy human. It means we want to be a happy human. In Sanskrit, Sukhinara is given as one who can control his or her urges. Then you can be happy. It is not translated as one who fulfills all their desires. One who knows how to control it. Yes, and so to live a simpler life. And if you can be the master of the senses, then actually you can live a more productive and more impactful life. Happier life. In conclusion, simplicity is not about cleaning your wardrobe or figuring out which shoes to give away. Not really. It's first getting that realization that we're all interconnected and we have a source. And that source has given me various resources. And do I need to use all those resources? Do I have the qualification to be able to engage all those resources in the service of the Supreme or our source? This is very, very interesting. Do I need 5 pairs of shoes?
No.
I mean, maybe. Like, I'll just give one example. Is that, okay, I had a friend who was very wealthy, you know? And so he lived in a very, very, like, small home. And actually, because he was very wealthy and subsequently became famous, his house actually got robbed. His house got robbed. And so he made the conscious decision that I need a house that's bigger and with more protection. Based on his capacity, he needed to expand because that's what he was capable of. But I'm saying that on the tendency to live simply and to simplify our life from wherever it is, just take the next step, is probably going to be the best decision.
That's a beautiful phrase,
Sukhinara, be a happy human. Thank you very much for tolerating this. Are there any questions, comments, or reflections? Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, so would you say that the fact that people create these unnecessary necessities is that they're disconnected from the source? So therefore, they attach themselves to these things that supposedly are gonna fulfill them or feel like that they can't live without them, so that they need them.
I heard a nice class where we say another name for the Supreme is Krishna, and so in the class they were saying that everybody has a Krishna-sized hole in their heart, and some people are just trying to fill it with so many different things, but it's like kind of like those kids things that, you know, like there's a circle block and then you put the circle block in and it fits, you know. But what we're trying to do, we're trying to put a square block, a triangle block, and it's not fitting it. We're trying different things, but essentially nothing material will satisfy on the eternal platform, because it'll have to pass. A super happy person materially and a super sad person materially, you can bring them into the equilibrium, a happy person and a sad person, by saying one phrase. What phrase is that?
Everything is temporary.
Everything is temporary. So I think everybody's trying to fill that gap of connection with love and relationship with different things in the world, and it may work for some time, but it's not going to work for a lot of the time. Yes, Ranchur? Is that okay? Lucy?
Yeah, thank you.
Ranchur.
I have a comment that leads into a question. I've heard on another discussion of simplicity saying that it's not something that can be like a blanket decision. Like, for example, if you're giving your 18-year-old child a car in the Midwest, that may not be seen as a luxury because everything is so far apart, you do need a car to get from place A to place B. But here in New York, where everything's connected by the subway system, and if you get a car, you're just gonna sit in traffic all day, buying like a Ferrari for your 18-year-old might be a little much. So can you speak on when we're trying to take practical steps to simplify our life, how do we identify that? Is that just an introspection thing? Do we go to somebody like a spiritual teacher? How do we make that decision? Because it's not something that's blanket.
Yeah, I definitely think it's more like we were saying in the beginning of class. It's a little bit more nuanced than just say, like we were talking about poor people and rich people. Poor people are simple and rich people are complex. You can be poor and very complex and very rich and very simple. But in tendency, I would say that you have to make that decision. Nobody's going to tell you what's the decision you have to make. That's like a personal journey, you know? So you have to accrue the guidance from personalities that you trust to say, hey, I'm going through X, Y, Z, and so on and so forth. What do I need to do to simplify my life? Those type of conversations are some of the most valuable conversations I have, that I can look at somebody in the eyes and I can say, what is my issue that I'm going with, and they can give me solutions. And you need a couple people in your life like that you can trust wholeheartedly. This is very, very important. But I agree with you that it's not a blanket statement. it is a journey for everybody to engage in simplicity. Yes, go ahead. Your name's David.
Take the first D away.
Oh, okay.
David.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much. Yes, go ahead, Amen.
My default is when everyone says, you know, how are you? I say I'm grateful. It's my default. It's a very interesting question because I did a year in Ohio. Don't miss it. The winter is just not for humans.
It's bad.
It's horrible. But needless to say, being spiritual, if you will. So, question for you. So, I've learned recently, what brought me here, besides Dario, who told me, is that the more that I've cleaned out my life, or the more that I've fixed things, or what have you, it has a lot to do with so many other people. Right? So I've learned when you take an inventory of yourself, you learn that a lot of your stuff belongs to a lot of people. Right? So I say that to say, is there a practical, any form of trajectory on finding oneself and sustaining it?
What has worked for me is to see what is my circle of influence. What do I have actually that is influencing me and that I can influence? There's many things in the world that I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about many things in the news. But what can I practically do about it? Very little, actually. And actually, because I've been consciously making that decision of who I want to fill in my life that is going to support me rather than drag me down, it's not an overnight process, not that you can go on and say, I don't want you in my life, you're toxic, you know, and they just get out of there. But what I do is, like, let's say for me and Krishna. Krishna is maybe a person that I'm kind of friends with, and I know this is a common thing that he may not be the best, I mean, he's a good influence, but he may not be on the best influence on me, or he's dragging me down. I just bring the conversation to a higher level every single time. That's the only thing that I have under my control, is what I'm subjected to. If I don't care about the subject that I'm being subject to, change the subject. If he's talking about all sorts of things that I'm not interested in, change the subject to things that I'm interested in.
Well, to your point, I've actually, I don't say get rid of, but I've absconded a 29-year friendship. That it's just, you know, like, I hear you and I agree with you on changing the conversation and, you know, being happy when they're sad. And so I've just made the decision, you know, that person is just not it. I've tried to reconcile that. I've tried to compromise. It's just not it.
Yeah.
Only because that was getting in the way of me doing the work on myself. Because, again, that was a distraction, right? So if I may ask you a direct question, do you remember life before your monk journey?
Of course.
How did you get from the former? How did you begin that journey? Was it this? Did you go away? Did you stop talking to people? Like, what was the practical, right?
Yeah, so when I was in high school, because my parents introduced me to the kind of the practice of spirituality, and then that led to becoming a monk, I was a football guy. I used to play lineman, and I've broken 2 people's legs. I'm sorry about those guys. I used to love playing football, and like,
Midwest.
that was Midwest, yeah.
Totally.
I was at a D1 like high school. I was like, my trajectory was there.
Yeah.
But when I got 2 concussions that kind of also influenced my decision making, probably. That
No pun intended. No pun intended. Pun intended.
I got 2 concussions, and I just started to think, what the circle of friends am I in? And if you know men's locker rooms or male friendships in general, it's quite like dragging, actually. They're quite, actually they demean you, and they demean people to your face, and then to other people's faces, they demean others also. So I just slowly started to step back, and I just started to okay, I'm gonna talk to people who are, I can have some commonality into words. And so generally, I started doing that more and more. And then I kind of brought myself to like, I don't have 50 friends. I don't even have 10 friends. I have like 3 or 4 people that I can, you'll see that as we, I mean, you can share more. But as I get older, I'm realizing my friend group is becoming smaller and smaller.
Totally.
And then, but it's also going deeper and deeper.
Sure. Yeah.
Is that I can trust them more, because now we're getting to the point that I realize I don't have much time. I'm here on this earth for a very short time.
Yeah.
Why waste it on people that aren't going to help me or bring me up?
Right.
That's my take on this. Is that okay? Thanks, David. I see a few more things. What are we doing on time?
One more short question.
One more short question.
I just
Yes.
on that, the back of that, the piggybacking that. So then you're there and you're down to your whatever, 5 friends. I found when you're on the path of healing and you're going deep within, you're healing. Of course, friends start to fall off. You only resonate with certain people. I guess my question was, what if you're in that position and you're still physically in spaces that you don't want to be, per se, even though you believe you should be on an island in Bali, or I mean on a beach in Bali, chilling, but you're still there. It's like, okay, God, source, Krishna, creator, all is just wanting, you have to think of it as like, I guess you're supposed to have an influence on those,
Yeah.
the surrounding, right?
Yeah.
So even if you're in a space or a environment that you don't want to be,
Yeah.
surrounded by people who haven't done any work, what is your take on that?
I was just thinking that now I'm going to give a benefit of social media as much as I bash it all the
Yeah.
time. You know how people space out on social media?
Yeah.
And they just like, one time I was walking past a coffee shop, I saw one pair of friends just sitting, 3 friends sitting, girls sitting right next to each other, just not talking to each other, scrolling. Came back an hour later, still scrolling. I'm like, wow, these guys are absorbed,
Yeah.
you know? So actually there's, the benefit of social media now is that people are naturally trained to space out. So sometimes what I do when I'm in these situations, when like if someone's talking to me and I'm really not feeling it, I'm just like, I'm just in one ear, out the ear. They say like, this is the one Vedic aphorism that's given is that you should be like a chaste spouse. A chaste spouse, like for example, a chaste husband, may look at other women, or a chaste wife may look at other men and speak to other men, but she follows her husband or follows his wife. So same way, you can listen to a lot of people. You can listen to many people, but you are going to follow who you're going to follow. So you have to vote with your feet sometimes, but sometimes you're subjected to it. At least, like Jay Shetty wrote a book, you can't live like a monk, at least think like a monk. You have to have that monk mentality of where is your focus going, because that is the only thing under your control. Nothing else is under our control really, except the consciousness that we're developing right now. Is our consciousness going to be scrolling and video games and social media and all this, or is our consciousness going to be sports or ESPN or CNN, or is it going to be of a higher vibration?
Yeah.
That's the only thing you have under your control.
Yeah, good answer.
Until your environment changes.
Yeah.
Intelligent, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're going to just do one more.